Well, here we are, final episode of this session. You can see there's a blind raise from Randy. Gotta love that.
I'm sad that it's the final episode of this session. It's been such a fun session.
This has been, I think, the craziest I've ever seen a no-limit cash game in my life. It's possible. It's possible it's the craziest I've ever
Evidenced by Randy just deciding to blind raise under the gun. It's not a straddle. It's just a blind raise.
It's a dead raise.
Here's Thorpe with a 3-bet with a very good 3-betting hand.
He has an actual decision here with 2 6s because...
I mean, he's got 5.2K in front of him. Thorpe's got 3.1. We can definitely set mine here.
For sure. And also, it's not a normal 3-bet anyway. Turns out Thorpe has a hand he would have 3-bet with anyway. But it's coming off the blind raise, so...
It's essentially a 5-10-20 game where the blind doesn't have the option to raise.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's what it is. And, of course, Randy's just going to call with the Jack-6.
Because, you know...
You can just flop a Jack.
That's a great flop for Thorpe, and he's probably just going to win on the flop, is my guess.
And Randy is going to donk this out because he's the man. He just does not stop. It's amazing.
Well, he is the Terminator.
Yes. It will keep going until you are dead.
Thorpe's just going to call. I like that play, especially against Randy.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Randy's got everything in his range. We're in position. Let's let Randy just keep firing away.
The thing is, no matter what the runout is, Thorpe has to kind of decide to never fold here if Randy keeps barreling.
Agreed. So once in a while, it could get a little bit ugly, but okay, we're mostly going to win if we just call. So I like that. Batiste makes what pretty much has to be a fold once Thorpe calls.
Yep. Against Randy, I imagine he would have called if Thorpe didn't.
Agreed. See if Randy keeps firing and gives up here. I think he's going to fire.
The 10's not amazing. Oh, he didn't fire. You were wrong.
Yep. Thorpe checks it right back instantly. Kind of love that.
Well, there's no folding for Thorpe here, right?
No chance.
I mean, Randy bets $1,200. You're going to call, right?
You hate it because you think maybe once in a while Randy's actually checking because he picked up showdown value on the turn and picked up trips, but you're always calling.
Randy's, of course, betting.
And he gets insta-called and knows he's... Well, he knew he was no good no matter
what. He was not betting for value. It was not a value bet.
Thorpe. I like how Thorpe played that. No point in betting the turn. Randy's going to bet all his kings anyway. He's almost certainly just going to fold if you bet. I really like that play.
It's nice when you get to flop top on a super dry board and have the guy who always bets bet into you. That feels good.
Into that position, so you can just make sure if he checks the river, you can bet if you want.
Yeah.
So much better.
Man, why does this session have to end?
You know, all things, man. All things. Hey, Wonka's got to be feeling the same way right now as he looks down at the Rockets. Houston Rockets.
They just got Chris Paul.
He did. Everyone's got a hand, too. Wonka can't love this. Everyone's, oh, man, Digital Dan's not going to fold.
Yeah, of course he's going to call with this hand. And once again, we see the theme here. Wonka has been sizing it up like this against this table that just doesn't, oh, my goodness.
Well, guess what? This is great for Wonka. What a deal. He gets all those callers and going to be able to knock them all out. You got to believe he's going to 4-bet this because people call 3-bets in this game way too much.
I imagine a 4-bet is coming here. And Wonka has... He started the hand with about 2,000 in front of him. I don't see Batiste getting away from it. Batiste knows his own reputation here.
Yeah, I mean, Batiste is 3-betting a lot of hands here. If Wonka 4-bets, the question is, what do you do with kings? I guess we'll see about sizing and things like that. It's not crazy for them to just get it in with kings here.
I could see a scenario where Batiste ends up flatting pre-flop, but he probably doesn't get away from it post-flop unless a very favorable flop comes out.
Yeah. If it's like a Jack, Queen, 9 board or something like that, maybe.
You like a 4-bet from Wonka here?
I do.
He does have the tightest reputation at the table, but
I don't care, man. There's $300 in there.
There's so many people in the pot. We've got to get rid of all the crumb bums. Is that what Norman Chat says?
That is what he says. And I do believe Action Aaron, for example, was going to call. Now, it turns out he had a hand we'd want him to call with, but, I mean, we have aces. It's not too bad. But against the world, I look at the equity just jump up there for Wonka.
Yeah.
It doesn't really change for Batiste at all either. So Wonka gets to do this. Now, let's see how Batiste responds. It's a huge 4-bet, by the way.
Is that racist, crumb bums? Is that some sort of racist thing?
It's absolutely racist.
Oh, okay.
It's really not a huge 4-bet. I guess he tripled the bet, but it's a big bet.
I don't know. I lean towards a call here, but I can't fault a move in or.
You're gonna put in a quarter of your stack. You're out of position. It's not a problem to move in.
The thing is that Wonka's gonna fold queens. I think if we move in,
that is a real. If he's gonna fold queens, that's a real problem.
He might not against Batiste, but I think he will. I think he will strongly consider folding queens.
He would at least consider it. He probably wouldn't have put in the 4-bet with queens. He'd probably put it in with worse hands and better hands.
I think it's better to call, hope for a low flop, and then we get to get it in against queens and jacks.
And ace-king.
Yeah. Well, sometimes ace-king will slow
Batiste
down.
moves in here.
And Wonka, of course, snap calls.
He calls right away. Says he has aces, and Batiste is not going to be happy with that. There's the face. There's the face. Let's see if he can get lucky.
Almost.
He's gotten lucky already. Let's see if he can do it again. He's only got 2 outs and 1 shot. 1 out, actually, and 1 shot at it. No good this time for Batiste.
That's the second biggest pot so far in poker time. It's a
Batiste involved in both of them.
$4,000 pot there. Both times it was big pair versus big pair.
Yep. And, you know, on that flop, actually, these guys probably would have gotten it in by the river, I guess. But the queen high board, not amazing. You don't love it when you have the aces or the kings, right? Someone had just called. But I guess they just would have put too much in. Right, stack to pot and all that. Nick would have had 1.5 to 1 going to the flop. They would have gotten it in.
Definitely a chance that he has it there.
Nick is Wonka, by the way.
Yes. Batiste can at least feel good about the fact that he's paying Wonka with Aaron's money.
That's the type of thing amateurs say.
I'm saying it's profit he's paying out at least.
I believe when Batiste won that huge pot against Aaron, I said, "Doesn't it feel so good when you push all your stack out and you know it's going to double?" Well, he's got the opposite of that feeling now, as Brittany the dealer is
There it goes.
just pushing it all away. It's all gone. You have to fight to get it back.
That's some cheddar right there, flying
That's
across
also
the
what.
way.
That's cool. It's cool when people say that.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time at Urban Dictionary, and I've really been learning about what the kids say these days. So
I think the queen high flop would have slowed down things a little bit because both people would be worried that their opponent would have a set of queens at that point.
But still, someone's going to bet 300 by the turn, right?
Yeah.
And then someone's probably going to bet 1,200 by the river because the pot's going to have 1,600 in it, right? I mean, or 1,700 in it. It's just going to be so easy to get it in. They're just going to get it in on the river.
It was nice to see Batiste smiling just then, too. He's a good sport. Good sport taking a big hit like that.
Yeah. He makes that face sort of either way.
Aaron could have any 2 cards. Oh, he has a real hand.
No, when I said you had kings against his aces, I thought
Is Batiste going to tilt call? Yep.
more likely to hit a king.
That's not really a tilt call against Aaron. That's a pretty reasonable call on the button against Aaron, I think.
It is offsuit.
It's not great, but I think it's reasonable. Randy actually has a very reasonable hand to call with, and Wonka somehow is the worst hand among these guys.
It happens sometimes, I guess.
I guess. You're really going to see him put in extra chips, though, in that case. But this time, we get why, and he flops best.
He knew it.
When you're a pro.
Checks around real quick there.
Wonka's got to love that.
Hard to keep up.
Not a great card for Wonka, but looks like he's going to bet it. Doesn't want to give it any more free cards. He's going to learn.
Reasonable, but poopy.
Yep. I assume he's just going to shut down on the river if he were to get called, and the hand is over quickly.
I'd say show the bluff.
So Wonka's doing well so far this episode.
Yeah, Wonka's been playing a lot of small pots, and then he finally had the nuts and got to play the second biggest pot of the session. It's a cool angle. I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
I like that split screen dealer and player.
I believe that was an accident, but
Still sweet.
yeah,
I'd like to see more of those.
someday.
Thorpe with a real hand. It's pretty.
He's going to play this. What's Batiste going to do with the ace-9 off? He's going to 3-bet. I prefer that to a call, certainly.
Absolutely.
It's a small 3-bet.
I think he knows he's not folding out Thorpe anyway.
Yeah,
so he's just trying to isolate.
Thorpe's the guy who never folds to a 3-bet.
Never.
So I guess we might as well just make it a bit smaller when we have a weaker hand.
Yep. I like that. I think this is smart.
Hope to just win on the flop.
Well,
I don't think he's going to win on the flop, Jonathan.
if a 10 comes, he can win on the turn.
Good check.
Yep. That's not a 10. That's a pair, but not the pair you want to see.
Now he can hit a 9, Jonathan.
That's true.
I think this isn't a great card for Thorpe, by the way. The spades come in and a 10 makes a straight.
Yeah. I assume Thorpe is going to shut down pretty much instantly if he gets called on that turn.
Yeah, unless a queen or a jack comes, of course.
Sure. And if he gets raised, he's probably just going to fold. I assume he's bet folding, which sucks, but what are you going to do?
I don't know. Cry?
Doesn't really make sense if you think of, like, if Batiste raises, he often would have bet his nut flush draws on the flop, right? Or his flush draws on the flop. So maybe you don't fold. I don't know. I'm glad we don't have to deal with it as Thorpe. If I was Thorpe,
Yeah.
I hate that spot. But you could also check. That would be another option.
Ooh, Digital Dan's got a big one.
He digitally can have Big Slick right now.
Only makes it 15. Seems way too small for this game.
But look at this. Batiste decides to give him...
He was going to
Pump it
3-bet
up.
anyway.
He's 3-betting the same amount as he did before. This is a new thing, I guess.
No, it's not really the same amount because Dan made it 15 where Thorpe made it 20.
You're right. You're right. He 3x'd it. Dan decides to just call, which is interesting against Batiste with his pretty wide 3-betting range. But
You can get yourself in some pretty bad spots. Ooh.
Here's a bad spot
This is a
to
bad
get
spot
into.
right here. How is Dan going to continue? I assume he's just going to call here.
Well, you're losing to ace-queen, you're losing to ace-10, you're losing to tens, you're losing to queens. And when you raise, you're folding out most of the worst hands, right?
Yeah, maybe you get called by ace-jack if you're lucky. But
That's the hand you're hoping to see.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a
Well-
good turn. Probably going to go check, though.
the poker gods no longer smile on Batiste.
Well, in fairness, he was way behind on pre-flop also. And the poker gods
The
are
poker
back.
gods smile on Batiste is what I was saying, if you were paying attention.
This is a pretty crazy run out. On each street, the lead has changed on all 4 streets. That's insane.
Is Dan going to bet fold here, or is he going to check call? Or check fold?
I think he's going to check. I like that check a lot when the queen pairs. It's so hard to get value from hands that don't have you beat. So hard.
I imagine we're going to see a call out of Dan if Batiste bets.
Yeah, I think you're probably supposed to. Batiste will make some thin value bets. Would Batiste value bet ace-jack here is the question.
I doubt it.
If he wouldn't value bet ace-jack, then we can only beat a bluff.
But
He
he
could
has
have some
bluffs.
bluffs.
He has bluffs. And
This
Dan
is fine.
quickly calls.
This
yeah.
is a perfectly fine call. Dan shows how unlucky he got because he wants everyone to know.
Batiste could be betting 2 9s or 2 8s there, having gotten called on the flop and deciding the run out might be bad for whatever ace Dan has there.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to call.
And also, Dan is, in case Batiste is trying to get him off a chop, Dan is actually not chopping.
Yeah.
That's nice, too.
Right.
I like that. Yeah, I think Dan played that well.
And he's smiling because he knows it.
Look at him. He doesn't look like he's real. That's like a rueful smile, though.
Well, you don't want the digital one to have the rueful smile. You know what comes next.
What comes next?
The digipocalypse.
That's cool. I wanna see an anime about that. Batista always has the 6s, huh?
No, last time he had ace queen, Jonathan.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember?
I do now that you say it. The hand before though.
No, it's like a couple.
Always with the 6s with that guy.
Action there, and of course, calling with the queen deuce offsuit
I mean, he
on
has
the
a
button.
queen and a deuce. In fairness,
Yes.
Digital Dan, you are supposed to call, and he is going to put the chips in.
When you have a queen and a deuce, your opponents don't know which part of the board they want to avoid.
They can say, "What do you have?" You say, "I have 2 queen," and it sounds like 2 queens.
and they might just muck.
Oh, look at this hand! Look at this flop.
Ooh, Batiste.
Everyone flopped it,
Ooh,
but
Batiste checks. That's interesting. I don't know if I like the check.
I'm worried that he's actually going to maybe blow Aaron off this hand by doing this instead of playing it more straightforwardly. Digital Dan going to call Batiste.
Digital Dan's got to call against Aaron's range there.
Of course he does. Batiste insta calls. Digital Dan now knows
I like
he
the
needs help.
snap call from Batiste. It looks like 7-8 or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. 2 jacks, something like that.
Uh-oh, 2 jacks got there. Now I hate the snap call.
Is Aaron going to bet or check?
He's going to check, I think.
He
Nope.
likes to bet, man. This guy gets a lot of value, though, with his top pairs, but it isn't going to happen here.
How much did he bet there?
Looked like he was reaching for about
160. Big bet.
Batiste
Almost a pot-sized bet.
is going to just call again. All right, Batiste has a plan, and the plan is let Aaron hang himself.
I don't know. Aaron happens to have a queen. I think checking the river is probably the right play because Aaron
Yeah.
has plenty of bluffs.
I agree. This is a bad card, though, for Batiste.
I think
because it's so good for his range.
If we knew Aaron's hand, we would, of course, lead. But
Right, no, of course. But no, I think I like the plan to go check, check, and then probably check raise the river. That seems right.
Well,
and this just is an unlucky run out. Batiste can't get any value on the river, probably.
Aaron could have
no
lost a
matter
lot
what.
more in that pot, and he didn't. And
Yes.
we can't necessarily kill him results-oriented wise for playing the queen deuce specifically there, because any queen that was probably going to play out the same way. If he had a reasonable hand like king queen, it's probably going to play out the same way.
There's another way to look at that, though, right?
He didn't have to be in the hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's the part of the range which he doesn't have to pay off all
That
those
is correct.
bets.
Yeah, that's a more reasonable point.
Yeah. But okay.
Nice chat.
Anyway, although the plan didn't really work out for Batiste, he probably got the same amount no matter how he plays it there. Actually, a check raise may even do better for him. Hard to say.
I mean, he got 160 on the turn. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but if he went bet, he would have gotten those calls.
Now,
from
here's a
Aaron.
reasonable queen for action, Aaron.
Yep.
And Digital Dan with the same hand.
What happens if it comes, ace, king, 10? What's even going to happen?
What if it comes queen, queen, queen? Who do we call about that? Is there somebody we call?
Yeah, there's a guy.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a good flop for the queen jacks. Batiste flopped a little bit of it.
I don't think he's going to overcall once Dan calls.
No, I think he would call if it was just Aaron, but
Yeah.
against both players, he's probably going to find a fold unless he's tilting from the aces versus kings hand.
Nope, he folds easily. By the way, the guy you call when it comes queen, vacuum salesman, vacuum cleaner and salesman, repairman, vacuum repairman.
What's his name?
It's a reference. I'm doing a reference.
I know.
Oh, you do? Good.
Oh, Batiste would have gotten there.
There's the face. More of the face. Look at the face.
I don't imagine there's going to be anything but a chop here.
Yeah.
They're just going to chop up Batiste's money.
Batista looked like he bit into a lemon there.
I kind of like biting into lemon sometimes.
Yeah, but you make the face when
it
you
makes
do.
you feel alive, though.
You know what else makes you feel alive?
The cold air on your face.
Sure. Aaron's thinking, but he's going to find a call ultimately. For
the
sure.
the scent of fresh coffee.
10's missed. The draw's missed. Aaron has a better hand than he was repping because it checked back the turn.
Getting kicked by a kangaroo.
He definitely is going to find a call here.
I don't know why he's tanking so long. Is he considering raising?
That would be absurd.
Of course, but maybe he's thinking I can get Dan off of a jack, a better jack maybe.
Well, there's Dan.
Looking digital.
That's his avatar. That's not actually Dan. We
Yeah,
we
that was-
superimposed that over Dan. We wanted to go digital on digital there. It's like picture in picture, sort of.
It's not like that.
I said sort of. Yeah, I don't know why Aaron's thinking so long.
When
Maybe he's just worried that Dan is so tight. He thinks of Dan as being so tight that Dan
Yeah,
just
that's
wouldn't
true.
bet. But Dan would bet a jack for value on the river, wouldn't he?
He would.
So then we just have to call.
When
We beat some jacks.
when the waves of the ocean crash over a rock and sprays on you, feel alive. Especially in the early morning sunlight.
I don't like
This is kind of an absurd tank at this point. I think we should just put the money in.
Dan's so sure he has the best hand.
Yeah, he thinks that Aaron has a 9 or an 8.
Look
Or
at
not,
Thorpe.
not an 8.
Thorpe's laughing too because they all think he has such a bad hand.
They think he has 2 5s or something.
Yeah.
Is he going to raise?
No.
He cut out raising chips there.
He's not going to do that after the entire speech, right? That'd be absurd. Although it'd be pretty strong. I imagine he's just going to find a call. All right, we get to get on with our lives,
Yeah.
apparently, now that Aaron
They
made
each
the
made
call.
$10. Congratulations, guys. At least we found out a couple of things that make you feel alive along the way.
Will make you feel alive.
Yeah, well, you got different answers?
Just gonna go ahead and tell you that. How many minutes did we do?
I have my own
Told
answers.
her I ace-8 though, so that's good for you.
I was gonna raise you 200. I don't think you called.
Oh, Aaron says he's going to raise to 200.
Interesting. I don't like that when Dan absolutely can have an 8 there, but it's an interesting idea. I think Aaron's hand's just a little too good to do that, right?
Wasting a lot of time. I just should have thought about it for 30 more seconds and then got my money in there.
Tough to not get called.
Dan's a little too tight for that because Dan's range includes a lot of hands that are not going to fold to a raise.
I agree. Like, that may be the worst hand he value bets.
Yeah.
Maybe he value bets Jack 10.
Yeah.
Fine. But that's probably it. Thorpe opening with the old ace-8 off here. And everyone just surrenders.
Even Randy in the big blind. I'm surprised to see Randy fold there.
Maybe he needed more callers.
Yeah, Randy doesn't like to play the dinky pots.
He does not. That's true. Thorpe, I'm sure, happy to just pick up the 2 blinds with ace-8 off. That's fine. It's probably above expectation.
Thorpe's, by the way, come up pretty big in the game, having lost his initial buy-in, and then he got to double through Digital Dan with the flop straight against the double gutter. And
Yeah.
since then, it's just been,
Easy sailing.
yeah, arrow pointing up. It's up to 3.7K.
It's pretty good. He thinks about it, but cannot pull the trigger.
Not with Randy in the blind.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Although Randy might have folded this hand.
True, but Wonka's also in the blind.
Yeah, Wonka is going to fold ace, queen, or worse.
So they both get a piece. Randy also with the gutter.
I imagine, I thought Randy would bet there. Wonka's going to try to get a little value out of it.
He does.
So far successful. Well,
That is a good card for Wonka.
Randy likes making people fold, but I don't think it's going to work this time.
No. Well, Randy actually has enough of a hand. He could probably...
He turns hands into bluffs sometimes that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, he's just going to call here again.
He's still got the gutter.
He can beat straight draws and just weird air. He can
Well-
beat less straight draws now. He can beat the gut shot only.
I imagine Wonka's going to bet and Randy's going to hem and haw and eventually fold. I think that's probably what's going to happen here.
I think this is a good time to size it up as Wonka. Let's see if he does. He does. He bets 75, and Randy instantly folds. Interesting.
I
Randy
guess
kinda,
the size wouldn't have mattered, I guess. Maybe if Wonka bets 10, Randy calls.
yeah, you know what? The size may have mattered. Like, maybe Randy just knows that Wonka doesn't seem to bet huge when he...
But the fold was so instant. Did he even have time to see the size of the bet?
Yeah, you could be right. He just knew he was giving up. As soon as he saw Wonka wasn't checking and going to bet something substantial, he was just done.
Randy might call against Aaron there or other players at the table, but
Yeah.
Batiste all night has been chirping at Wonka about how tight he is, and I think it's gotten in people's heads. And so far, honestly, it's been kind of true.
Yeah. Wonka's played one really big pot, right? I guess he played the when he had the ace X of spades back in the day. But that was a pot where he had huge equity. He had an open-ender and then up flush draw.
He heroed Batiste once with king queen when an ace rivered or an ace turned. I
That's
think,
right.
When he had
But
king.
he wasn't driving the action in that hand.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a hand where he was.
Randy 3-bets deuces here, and
Yeah.
that's what you want, except for Batiste's hand is not so great for you.
He says the two back doors, but hard to imagine if Randy bets that we're going to get any action as Randy.
That
here.
sucks when you 3-bet the unexpected small pair. You flop the set on the ace high board, and your opponent doesn't even have the ace.
And guess what?
Ooh, it doesn't matter, I guess.
It's amazing.
He makes it 120. Oh,
So,
man.
Randy's going to probably not slow down here. But
I think he's going to call. I think he's just going to call.
Oh, he
Oh, he
no.
raised.
Well, that's going to
That's the end of that. So what Batiste is doing here is saying, I have more aces in my range than you have in yours. Your range is supposedly pair heavy. But I don't know if that's true with Randy because he has a very wide 3-betting range.
Well, I mean, I think what we could say is forget about pair heavy. You just... I have more aces because I've got a bet tighter range than
Yeah,
you do, period.
that's true.
You have all sort. You have king 9 and stuff like
Randy's
that.
going to have to fold a vast majority of his range on this flop. That's probably what Batiste is thinking.
Yeah. The problem with the re-race here for Randy is there's just not that much we can get action from now. We can get action from ace 4 and big draws, and that's about it.
Batiste is thinking about a 4-bet, but I don't think Randy's deep enough to do it.
Randy with only 680 behind. Yeah, this would be optimistic.
Yeah.
Ambitious, as we say at Poker Guys HQ.
But I love about Batiste that he never wants to give up on a hand. He always tries to think through, is there a better way to do this? Can I win this hand?
I like that too, but I like him to fold a little quicker when he definitely isn't going to be able to make a
I think
play.
he was considering it there.
I guess he just barely had fold equity there, right? He did.
Randy shows it. He's a
The thing
nice
is,
guy.
Randy, I mean, it's not that Randy has no bluffs in this spot. He probably has a few, but not enough.
No, especially when his stack is so short.
Yeah. Randy definitely can show up, though, with some surprising hands and surprising spots, as we've seen throughout this session. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back and watch some of the other episodes. It's just amazing.
Yes.
These hands are incredible. We really encourage you to check it out.
The digital one has the king and the jack.
He's going to surprisingly limp with it. Not what we'd expect, although he's limped with queens and some other things, too. Limped with 9-7 suited
Yeah, he's
earlier.
got some balance in there. I don't know if he's choosing particular hands or just particular times, moments when the table seems pretty raisy or something.
I don't know either. It's hard to tell. It might just be, you know.
Well, he's inviting everybody in here, and that's what's going to happen. Is Aaron going to raise?
Oh, Aaron's going to do a little. Oh,
No,
looked
he
like
thought
Aaron's going
about
to do
it.
some of the work for him. Everyone's happy that Aaron didn't raise there, I
yeah,
think.
Thorpe's got the best hand.
Look
here
at the
with-
trash.
It's a trashy situation.
But you're right. Thorpe does have the best hand. Digital Dan, though, flops the open ender.
Nobody else really flops anything. So Digital Dan's probably just going to win this one. Well, never mind.
Batiste with bottom pair.
Not interested in folding.
All right, let's.
He called as quickly as he did with a set, to be fair to Batiste.
Yeah, an ace.
Oh, man.
I was going to say an ace would have been a crazy card on the
Yeah.
turn. This is an incredible card for Batiste. Dan checks. Batiste checks it right back. 5 on the river. Let's see if Dan gives up or decides to bluff it.
If he gives up, yeah, Batiste isn't getting any value here. Dan's just going to fold it.
75. I don't know what we can beat except for Jack 9.
It's a pot-sized bet. Maybe 8-9 sometimes.
Maybe 8-9. Look how happy Batiste is. And he knows he's got the best hand.
It's a nice feeling.
It is.
What are you limping is the question.
Dan must be considering raising.
I don't think he is. Oh. He calls.
He calls.
Wow.
Ooh, and then the quick mucko, and look at the face of Dan. He's like, oh, I stepped in at that time.
Like, that one isn't going to look so good on the YouTubes.
All right, so he's putting Batiste on Jack 9, I guess.
I guess, and maybe he's chopping with King Jack, and he wants to get the money back. I don't know.
In my mind,
How
I'm
big
like,
was the pot when Batiste bet 75?
75.
and he's
Wow.
fucking with me.
So if we're chopping, it's not a good call.
Was it the 3 of clubs?
You gotta be pretty sure Batiste has the Jack 9 in the or the 8-9, which feels pretty unlikely. The 8-9, you know.
It does.
I don't know if he's gonna call on the flop with 8-9. There's a happy Batiste. Always nice to get called with by King High when you got trips.
He doesn't know what he got called by, though.
I know what he got called by.
Well, Randy's going to limp king 3. Action Aaron's going to raise with 9 deuce. We've seen this before.
This is why we call this the crazy session.
Yeah.
Because this is the crazy session, people.
Randy's not folding, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah. We knew we were going to get action with these guys, but this is more action than we really could have hoped for, honestly.
As the session winds down, I miss it already.
It hasn't gone away yet. All right, so Aaron's supposed to win this pot, right?
But Randy has basically the nuts.
And Aaron does continue and win this time. And Aaron gets that good feeling you have when you just have complete air and you get to win the pot anyway.
Yeah,
That is a nice little
9 deuce.
moment.
That's the hand Viffer had against Phil Ruffin. Didn't work out.
It was suited, though.
Yeah.
It was of clubs, I think.
Yeah.
This is only one club, so not the same at all.
On me. We're going personal, yeah.
It's a joke.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, the quads,
Didn't
queens,
seem to know that.
it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You want me to do a Lon McCarran
Don't
courtesy
do that.
laugh for you?
No, I don't want any of those. But I'd like you to keep insulting other people in the poker commentating profession. That's a great idea.
I think it is.
Aaron looks like he's just going to keep the pedal to the metal here after the 9 deuce worked out so well.
These guys are aware that the session is drawing to a close, so I think the action... People are going to want to get into the hands, say that much. Especially Aaron and Randy.
Well, let's see if they have any more big pots in them. Aaron's trying to make them big pots.
Well, there's a gut shot for Randy, and Aaron outflaps him with a 7. He's going to bet it because he bets everything.
75, and Randy
Randy
just
snap calls.
can't call fast enough. Trying to hit that 8.
Something was funny.
See if Aaron bets again. I don't know about this bet.
What's he trying to do here? Fold out the hearts, I guess.
Charge the hearts at least? I don't even know. Randy can, again, the chips seem to go in almost as fast as Aaron
Wow.
puts them in.
It's got 10 high.
Well, this pot is inflated. It's not one I would have expected to be.
550 in the pot here with 9-7 against 9. Well,
Aaron's got the full house, and Randy's
Randy's going to make a move here, I'm pretty sure.
he has the look. This is a spot where he often has made moves, and he knows he can only win if he bets. Here we go.
Yeah, no kidding.
What is that, 300 something?
250. So small bet.
Aaron's going to raise, and that'll be that.
Yeah,
Aaron might just call.
I think you should raise.
And then the
He'd
other
be
guy
concerned about Jack 7 if you just call.
Randy only has 700 behind. I think we should raise here.
I think so too.
I think Randy's going to call with a 3. If you remember earlier, he called with a set of 7s on a 4 straight board when Aaron raised him. I think he's going to. There's just certain hands he's not folding.
So this tanking, do you think Aaron is trying to assess whether he should raise or call, or trying to make it look like he's uncertain before he raises?
I'm going with the latter.
Okay.
Option B. What do you think?
I think probably that's the case, but Aaron's a guy who takes a long time with his river decisions, and
Yes.
sometimes he's really thinking it through. So it's possible this time he's really thinking, is there value in raising?
Now look at the shot of Randy here. Looks like he's all alone, and that's how he feels right now. With 10 high
Like a
after betting
sad,
250.
sad man.
Like, can you fold though?
Aaron looks like he's going to fold there with that face. We know that's not the case.
Yeah, I don't know why Aaron's really taking this long when Randy has 700 behind. This feels like a pretty straightforward shove to me.
Aaron's been in the tank in this episode. And here we go.
But he does do this with a wide range of hands in these spots. We have seen that. Big hands, little hands, everything in between.
All right, we might as well take this opportunity. What are the things that make you feel alive, Jonathan?
Bubblicious,
Really?
cherry, bubblegum.
Wow, my answers were so much better than that.
That's I have more.
Okay, go.
Bubblicious, flavored bubblegum.
What's bubble flavor?
You know, that sort
like
of
soap flavor? Like
soap.
yeah, like
No, you know,
bubble
bubblegum flavored. Have you ever had that? You know,
Oh, Randy
bubblegum.
just kind of broke a little bit under Aaron's extreme tank.
However, Aaron is in the Zen house right now. He's not even looking at anything. He's like,
Is he asleep?
it feels like he's asleep. What is happening right now?
I think
on poker
Aaron fell
time?
asleep.
Randy realizes he doesn't even have to like maintain a poker face anymore. He should turn his cards over.
Yeah,
Turn your hand over, Randy. It doesn't matter.
that's optimal. just an $800 pot. Why don't we turn our hand over? And
This is really strange that Aaron's doing this.
we're gonna see the table's reaction, I think, once Aaron turns his cards up here.
There's been some unnecessary tanks. This is one of them. This is too long. Batiste also did it earlier as well. I just don't know what there's to think about. I mean, I suppose we could decide, are we raising? But
Maybe he's heard about your Bubblicious thing, and he's like, does anybody really think of Bubblicious that highly? What's wrong with that guy?
you ever have a strawberry Pop-Tart? Those things are amazing.
So that's another one of the things.
Oh,
So
yeah.
All of your things are berry-flavored, artificially flavored
They're not
processed
it's
foods.
not all artificial. Aaron may actually be making a decision here.
Let's go, Aaron.
I think we're going to have to cut some of this. This is just going on forever.
No, we're showing it.
We're showing
we
it
learned
all?
about the Bubblicious.
All right. Still thinking. Randy, it's like, just find a fold, man. He's not going to find a fold, Randy.
I think he's just going to call. That's what it looks like to me right now.
It's probably a mistake to just call, but it's a call.
Nice call, says Randy, but let's hear the reaction of the
Yeah.
table.
You're 3, right? Yes, 7.
I just don't think you're calling with anything here if you have Jack 7 or.
What the? Damn, I thought you had.
No, I'm just deciding whether I want to ship or not, or I don't.
See, I hear what Aaron's saying there. If Randy had 2K back,
I mean, I'm not folding.
I don't think shipping would be a good idea.
No.
Right? But with a pot less than a pot size bet behind, I don't know. To me, it seems like a pretty easy move in with a hand this good.
Jack 7.
To Aaron's point, though, I don't know if Randy is calling with a worse hand.
I mean, that's if he's never calling with the worst hand, we definitely should not ship it. I'll say that. Here's Wonka, by the way, with jacks. I think Randy might call with the worst hand.
He might call with bottom full house.
Yeah.
Probably not with a jack, but maybe with a jack.
Now he's often going to raise trip threes on the turn. So, but you know what? If we decide we want to call, that's fine. We could have done it a little quicker as Aaron. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that took a little too long.
Digital Dan decides to go with the 10-9 off here.
There are meta elements, such as the players knowing that the session is expiring soon.
Yeah.
That helps people get in the pot a little bit more freely.
Seems like it. And wow.
Okay, that's a flop.
Let's see if Digital Dan tries to hit his gutter the way Randy did. Because if he does, it's going to cost him
Is
some
Wonka
money.
going to bet the quads?
I hope so, because that's the coolest.
It's cool, but it's cooler when there's an overcard to the quads. It's really hard to get action on this board. There's no flush draw.
He needs someone to have a pocket pair, decide to call with the gutter, have a 7.
I think from a meta perspective, it's very cool to bet quads, but I think on this board with quads, I think I prefer a check. It's so hard to get action.
I mean, I struggle to disagree with you. And as we see, Wonka
He's going to show it.
No action, no.
Reinforcing his knit image.
You know, I think what Wonka's doing, though, he's probably thinking of the long game here, not just this hand part of it. He's thinking about, okay, so when the board's paired and Wonka bets, he can still have it. Unlike a lot of people who are going to slow play, Wonka's not going to slow play all the time. Like, he can even have
Fair
quads
enough.
now.
Fair enough, but counterpoint.
Yes, please.
We're near the end of the session.
Yeah.
People want to put money in the pot, but
Yes.
it's very hard to find a hand willing to put money in the pot on that board. Maybe give them a shot at a card that makes them willing to put money on the pot.
I hear you. Not crazy.
Raise 15.
Batiste,
I mean,
thinking about
don't
it.
flat. Just 3 or fold at least.
He's going to flat. Look at him.
Don't do it.
He
Wow.
just wants to play.
He's turning into Randy and Aaron. That's what that is. And now Wonka actually has a reasonable flatting hand.
Oh, there's that shot you like, the accidental
I
shot.
do like it. Maybe it's not accidental.
Look at it. There
Oh,
it is again.
it's so cool.
Well, Digital Dan flops very well.
Let's see if it's the same thing as with Wonka before. If Digital Dan bets it and gets no action. Now, this is a much more reasonable hand to bet,
Of
on this
course. Your opponents can have worse 8s, which would be the miracle, or they could have a king.
board. Yep. And, of course, it's over.
Queen there?
He shows the 8.
Oh, you had it. That's unfortunate.
2 monster flops in a row and no action, even though they're
Yeah.
both four-handed. That's
When you're
tough.
getting near the end of the session, especially if you're stuck and then you flop your monster hand in a 4-way pot and nobody gives you any action,
Yeah.
that hurts.
Digital Dan, there was 90 in the pot, or not 90, so there was 60 in the pot, and he had only 800 behind. Like, there was a way to get it in there if someone had anything. If someone had King Queen,
Yeah. 7-8. How about that?
oh, even better.
I didn't realize that.
I wonder if Batiste is going to play every hand till the end of the session. I mean, this is a reasonable hand to open in
Yeah.
the cutoff. Randy might play every hand at the end of the session.
Holy shit, are you okay over
So
there?
these things could happen.
Wonka even getting in there with a 10-7 off, which is a bit uncharacteristic.
I think he maybe is sensing that everyone's just is wider than even they were before.
Wonka flops a gut shot there. Nobody
it.
else flops much. Yeah, we see a check through there. A 3 for Randy. I wouldn't have minded a bet from Wonka there.
I'm surprised he didn't bet.
He could rep the flush.
Batista's going to go
Oh,
for the
it
steal.
wouldn't. Well, it's not really a steal. He's got the ace of hearts in his hand.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's just going to end this, I got to believe. Wonka's not going to draw with 3 hearts on the board.
No.
And Aaron has the 7 of hearts and decides it's not good enough. Nice discipline laid on there by Aaron.
Mercifully short tank.
That's right. Sometimes we see guys.
And Batiste shows the
Makes
7 of diamonds. What a cheeky fella.
I mean, honestly, when they only show one card and it's a bad card, the other card's almost always like a premium, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he would show them both if it was a bluff. He's been doing that.
Kind of the reverse of when somebody raises preflop and shows an ace.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
Why didn't you show me the queen if you had ace queen?
Right.
It's because you had ace 4.
Right.
But who cares either way? What's the point?
Next time when you buy me
Are we
a
pretending we
stock
never bluff? What's going on here?
I always pretend I never bluff.
People call you a lot, though, don't they? You got that.
I get called so much, it's incredible.
It's because you talk so much. You talk way too much.
I'm amazed. I get called so much. I feel like there are times when I'm playing insanely tight and super obvious, and it doesn't matter. Good players just put in a crazy amount of chips against me on a regular basis.
All
So
right,
I just
Wonka
feel like
just
whatever.
flats the button with ace 9 to Randy's open. I would have liked to see a 3-bet there.
I'm a little surprised. Maybe he wants to play the hand, but he also wants to lock up the win a little bit. I don't know.
Maybe. He's also quite sure he's ahead of Randy's range, and maybe that's good enough for him.
I mean, this is a very nice flop. He's certainly going to call this C-bet from Randy.
I would call it a relatively nice flop.
Against Randy's range, we got the backdoor nut flush draw.
I'd rather kind of lock it
second
up
pair.
right away. Just go 999.
Well, you're a
Herman
greedy-
Cain's tax
you're a
plan.
Greedy human. All right, they both pick up some equity here on the turn.
Wonka more so.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess they both can't pick up equity, right? Only one of them can. But oh my gosh,
that is so unfair. I
wow.
don't think he's going to get any action though. I think Wonka will end up folding here.
I think you're probably right. Let's see.
I'm winning huge.
50 to win 150. The problem is Randy's capable of betting
Yeah.
a hand which is better than ours that isn't a straight, I think.
Randy might be bluffing with a 10 here though.
Yeah. Wonka's just going to let it go. This is a spot where Wonka, in theory, could bluff raise, but I don't know if Randy's going to fold a king. So
If you go back through this entire session, the crazy session,
yeah,
and watch Wonka play, he's kind of like he's a vision of discipline in this lineup. It's hard to not go with the herd and start getting a little nutty here, but Wonka just kept his ranges tight. He kept his discipline.
And Nick's gonna.
He got a little lucky to get the aces against kings, but he found his spots. You know, he waited for his
Yeah.
spots, and
I mean, he also didn't. I mean, he got 4-bet when he had queens and didn't put in the 5-bet. Now that costs him money in this way, but that goes to his discipline and trying to wait for not just a good spot, but a great spot.
yeah, when we're super deep and everybody's putting a ton of chips in the pot, it's not a horrible plan at all.
Yep. And now you can see he's got 4.2K in front of him. He's doing great.
A lot of that is, of course, from the
One hand.
the ultimate
yes.
pre-flop cooler that
No
exists
question.
in poker.
And in fact, if he doesn't have that hand, he's down for the session.
I just
But
wanna bet
okay,
one hand more than makes it
whatever.
better.
We're trying to praise the guy. Let's find ways to
that
do
said,
it.
I do believe his style will win over time in this game.
Me
If this
too.
game were to go forever.
Me too. Wonka flops the flush draw. No one else has anything.
Aaron's going to bet it with the 7 high. It's not a
Yep.
bad time to bet when you
Sure.
have the absolute nothing burger.
He bet 60 into 70. It feels like a pretty easy. Wonka's got 2 options, right? I mean, he can raise or he can call.
I think
both are
calling
reasonable.
seems all right to me. I mean, raising gets a little scary sometimes. Also, is he going to fold?
That is wow.
Remove all the praise.
He's locking it up for real.
Never mind. That
That
no.
was against Aaron. Aaron shows him the bluff. Let's see Wonka's reaction.
He's
Yeah,
definitely locking
That's
it
pretty
up.
bad, man.
That's some pretty classic
If
locking it up right
I
there.
mean, if you're gonna lock it up, then why are we playing the hand? Just throw your hands away, man.
Yeah.
Like we flop a
Just
flush
after
draw.
we heaped all that praise on
We-
Wonka,
we
why you
just-
got to go and do that to us, Wonka?
You just check to Aaron, who's on the button. That guy is gonna bet so often. Just check raise him if you don't want to call. It's okay. Cook it back. He's not gonna have an ace or a deuce so often.
Wonka just went ahead and validated all of Batiste's words about Wonka.
What a horrible spot that we call it.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. Just throw it away, man. You're not calling with your flush draw.
Oh,
what are you
Wonka.
doing? Just. I'm kind of rooting for diamonds to come now after that last fold.
Just to see if he folds again.
I want 3 diamonds to come out. and-
Oh, well, Thorpe has 3 diamonds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Wonka gets stacked now after that terrible laydown.
Now, I believe this might... It's either this hand or the next hand that's the last hand of the session.
Oh, yeah.
We've got an open-ender for Randy. We've got top pair for Thorpe. Randy's going to bet it. Wonka's got a 6 and backdoors, but he's going to fold. 'Cause he locked it up and decided
That's
to
fine.
donate a couple limps.
Thorpe certainly has to call.
Yep. Batiste might call with the backdoor nut flush draw and the 6 here.
I'd be surprised.
The backdoor nut flush draw helps.
Yeah, you're right.
We're pretty deep. Now, Randy's not that
We're
deep.
not.
but
We're not deep. Neither Randy nor
No,
Digital
that's true.
Dan are deep.
That's true. Maybe deep enough for this. Well, that's a good card for Batiste there.
It really is. He could decide to bet this
No,
himself,
he's
but I
just
guess
gonna check.
he's got enough showdown value to
I
decide
assume
to check
Thorpe
it.
is going to check as well. He did already, I believe.
Yeah, we have it as Digital Dan is.
But it is Thorpe.
But it's Thorpe. Yeah.
And nothing there. Thorpe's probably just going to win this on a check through unless Randy decides to bluff. Randy does check.
It just checks all the way through. Thorpe gets to win, and Batiste now is acting as though he's very unlucky, even though he called with bottom pair and just a backdoor.
And that, I believe, is the last
No.
the last hand of the crazy session.
No.
It's been great.
It
It's
has.
been awesome. But guess what? The session's over. That doesn't mean poker time's over. We will
Nope.
be back next week with a new session of Poker Time. We will see you on Tuesday.
Yep. See you then.